Who's ready for story time with me and Matt, baby? Hey, Matt here, and welcome to All Out Review. Yes, this was a very fucking fantastic professional wrestling show. And man, I can't wait to get through it. Man, it was awesome. There was like a lot of things to unload. And I mean a lot of very good debuts on this night as well. And I think this show honestly beat out SummerSlam. And SummerSlam was a great show as well, but this was one hell of a show. And I mean, AEW always delivers, it seems. Like, it's going to be one of those wrestling promotions that will always deliver. And yeah, it's 2 years into its infancy, I guess. I don't even know how to put it, but I mean, yeah, this was awesome. Now you're probably wondering, where is your Glory by Honor review? Anyway, let's get on with the show. Should be fucking awesome. So this first match, I didn't really watch. So there was the pre-show. You have Best Friends who beat Jurassic Express, the Hardy Family Office, and the Hybrid 2, which was Angelico and Jack Evans. Oh yeah, I forgot about that team. I guess this was a good match. I don't know. Best Friends are a good tag team. I much rather would have seen the Matt Hardy Office go over, but you know, it is what it is. So now we get on with the show. We got the TNT Championship. Mero versus Eddie Kingston. And this was a good match too. And I think these two really beat each other to the limit. Obviously thought that Eddie was going to win this match, but it didn't really happen. I mean, they had a great match outside the ring, inside the ring. You know, Eddie did try to dominate Mero, and that wasn't enough. Mero ended up retaining the TNT title, and we'll see where it goes from here. Like, I just don't really know. But, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens in the future. But I think Eddie will get the TNT title. I'm not quite sure when, but I know that's what's gonna happen. And had this match, Satoshi Kojima, the king of the Complete Clutch, versus John motherfucking Moxley. This was a good match too. And I mean, I always look at these matches as, okay, John's taking on the New Japan talent in AEW, and I think that's pretty cool. But this match was awesome in a lot of ways. And John Moxley ended up going over, you know. But yeah, these two went back and forth. The hard-hitting, the Japanese strong style, if you will. And yeah, John went over, celebrates in the ring, and then the music hits. Let's go out, music hits. And it's none other than Mero Suzuki. So Mero gets in the ring. My brother and I, well, I at least I know I did, creep myself. They stare at each other. John bows. Then they throw elbows. And yeah, basically, Dynamite is going to be Mero Suzuki versus John Moxley. And you know what? holy shit, this was a good match as well. And I mean, they both took each other to the limit. But you knew Jon Moxley was going to go over. It was in Cincinnati. That's Moxley country right there. But I mean, what a fucking good match. And Suzuki always delivers. But right here, this was cool as well. Yeah, Chris Statlander and Dr. Britt Baker. Now, of course, Britt Baker, DMD, the longest reigning AEW Women's Champion. So this was cool. You got to see that. This was a good match as well. And I mean, you still had a Rebel and Jamie Hayter in the corner, but that's fine. You know, Statlander had Orange Cassidy. And you thought, alright, I made a prediction. But I'm not going to spoil that. So anyways, yeah, this was a good match. Dr. Britt Baker won and retained the title. And so that's going to be interesting to see where that goes. But a hell of a match. They had the cage match for the World Tag Team titles. The Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers. And I was very surprised, you know. They really took each other to the limit. It was a very hard-hitting match. There was a lot of blood being flown, which was awesome in my opinion. Very interesting. Because you have new AEW Tag Team Champions, and the Lucha Brothers are AAA Tag Team Champions and AEW Tag Team Champions. Now, I'm not going to do a rant about that, obviously, because I said my piece a billion times, so I'm not going to go there. But it kind of makes no sense because you have, well, what's to come. You have what's to come later on in the night. But whatever. It is what it is. You have the 21 Women Casino Battle Royal. This was cool. Nyla Rose. You had Thunder Rosa. You had Riho. You had Sakura. You had a lot of really talented women in this ring. And then you had the Joker coming out. And the debut of one former Ruby Riott, now known as Ruby Soho. And she comes out to the ring, of course, with the only Rancid song to bring her out, Time Bomb. Nah, it was Ruby Soho. So hopefully in the next AEW pay-per-view you're going to see, hopefully, or eventually, Rancid play her to the ring. But anyway, she came out. She was the last one with Thunder Rosa. And basically, yeah, she won. So she'll get a title shot against Britt Baker eventually. And we'll see where that goes. On Dynamite, she faced Jamie Hayter. And that was a good match in itself. So, we'll see what happens. And I mean, who knows? Is it time? I mean, she just came in to AEW, so I'm not quite sure. You have MJF versus Chris Jericho. And Chris Jericho lost, and obviously he would retire from wrestling, at least in AEW, and be a commentator. But you know, this was cool. And I mean, you have these two, Wardlow not there, you know, Jack Hager not there, and you know, very cool. These two took each other to the limit. I keep saying that, but I mean, they beat the shit out of each other. You obviously thought it was going to be a close call with Maxwell, Jacob Friedman, but Chris Jericho hit the walls and, yeah, won the match. That's pretty fucking cool. But this match, oh my god. CM Punk versus Darby Allen. And I gotta say this, there's a lot of comparisons to the 1995 match with 1-2-3 Kid and Bret Hart. Now look, honestly, I didn't see this match in, well, years. I actually remember when I saw 1-2-3 Kid versus Bret Hart. And I don't think this was an accident. I just think, you know, it is what it is. They saw the match, they probably thought, well, let's make it similar. I honestly don't know. But this was a good match, too. And I mean, it was CM Punk trying to figure out if he still had it. But, you know, Darby Allen was really good, too. We all knew that. But it was CM Punk that gave him the GTS and winning the match. So that was pretty cool as well. And I mean, if any indication, if it was an homage to Bret Hart and Sean Waltman, then so fucking what? I think it was pretty good. I'm surprised they even picked that match to compare it to, but who knows. You have the in-ring debut for AEW, Paul White versus QT Marshall, and I was wrong. I will say that. I was wrong. I thought Paul White going over would have been a bad idea. I think Paul would have much rather went over at another pay-per-view or another match, whatever. No. I mean, QT Marshall definitely tried to cheat in this one too, but to no avail. And Paul White ended up going over. And yeah, we'll see where that goes from there. And is their feud going to continue? What's next for Paul White? I have no clue, really. Now we have this match. We've got AEW Championship. We got Kenny Omega, or as I call him, Lemmy Omega, with Don Callis versus Christian Cage, the Impact Champion. And I was so happy that this was going to happen. I really was. It was a good match, and it was nothing against Christian, but I'm sick and tired of seeing two-belt wrestlers. I really am. But this was a good match, because you had these two guys who beat the shit out of each other. You thought it was going to be, you know, it was either going to be Christian or Kenny Omega. But Kenny Omega went over to celebrate in the ring. And somehow, you know, they talk. And the Elite's in the ring. And then the lights go out. Maybe, I think the lights, well, whatever. And you have on the screen, for the first time in AEW, Adam Cole, baby! And I know for a fact that this was gonna happen. And I don't kill Kyle. He said it was gonna be much later. Much later that he would have debuted. So, I don't know what to say. I was very happy. So he came in the ring, and he started talking, and it was awesome. It really fucking was awesome. And you know, he kept going, and then you heard it. The Flight of the Navigator. And then you knew. You fucking knew. The American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, was gonna show up. And he came out to Ovation, and he got into the ring, and then there was a fight. And you know, it was awesome. It was cool to see that. It was awesome to see a stare down, and I can't just you know, Jungle Express came out to help Christian. So there was a stare down. Now, obviously, if you saw Dynamite, you knew the inevitable Kenny Omega face to face with Bryan Danielson. So I can't wait to see where that goes. I really fucking can't. It's gonna be fucking awesome. It really is. But what a time to be a professional wrestling fan. Because WWE is a hit or miss. Ring of Honor is cool. By the way, missed the last pay-per-view. But well, you know. Impact Wrestling also merged with AEW, but whatever. Still waiting for Wyatt. Apparently Strowman. But what a fucking time to be a wrestling fan. Pretty cool. But anyways, that's it. CM Punk, AEW, the debut of the American Dragon and Adam Cole, baby. Very cool. Anyways, talk to you later. Bye.
So you know that them cutting WCW was a long time coming. But I think that there's this myth out there that Jamie Keller
Gnarly.
that's why he took pleasure in cutting WCW. I don't think that's the case at all. Because if you look at some of his earlier interviews, like